art items that they have at Lulu Beauty and show you how to use some of them as well. I have a Lulu Beauty haul to share with you guys today. I've teamed up with Lulu Beauty to carry some of the items that I was carrying at Flora Nail Shop that were like, you know, like the new nail studio roller and some of the nail art, as well as the nail art confetti, which will soon be available exclusively at Lulu Beauty and Nail Techniques. And I have a whole video here to share with you some other items that they carry. Lulu Beauty is a for everyone nail company, and they carry lots of my favorite brands. They have Clear Jelly Stamper, they have Coco and Claire, they have a ton of nail art exclusive to Lulu Beauty as well. In this video, I wanted to go through some of the nail art items that they have at Lulu Beauty and show you how to use some of them as well, because I know sometimes you see like really cool products and you want to get them, or you get them and then you have absolutely no idea what to do with them. So I thought it'd be fun to share with you guys these nail art items as well. We'll have some behind the scenes footage of making the nail art confetti, this latest batch that is available now if it's not already sold out, because I know it sells out super quick. These are Fimo slices. Have a nice mix of different kinds of fruits. I'm not sure if I've seen that pineapple one before. This one also has a carrot in it, your citrus fruit, kiwi, we have dragon fruit, apples, limes, lemons. I was thinking this one was strawberries. And then avocados as well. So I'll show you guys how to use those. Flowers and caviar beads. And what I liked about these flowers and caviar beads is that the flowers are really small in there. Like there is some super, super teeny ones. Some of the little flowers in here, like right down there, are super, super small. So they would be good for people who don't like too big of embellishments or have smaller nail beds as well. And then there are some bigger ones too. And I like that it is a variety set. This is a really fun, they call it bunnies and butterflies like glitter mix. And it is in like a light pink, and then it has kind of like a rose gold glitter in it too. So we have bigger butterflies, smaller ones, some flowers, some other flowers here, and little bunnies, and then some hearts. Mini petals. I was really excited about this. Little petals of glitter. So 2 different shades of pink, purple, and then we have some fun iridescent ones, as well as a nice white one, which would be good for weddings. Dried flowers, always super fun this time of year. And I'm happy to see some greenery included in this too. Sometimes I look at dried flowers and they don't have the greenery. And if you guys have watched any of my nail art tutorials with florals, I always say add greenery because it just completes the look, I feel like. So that is a flower mix there. This one is mini mylar sampler. I love working with mylar. So they are kind of like different like shards of glitter, I guess, but they come in a variety of different sizes, and I really, really like the iridescent mix because it can be paired over top of anything, but all the different colors here do have a little bit of a different hue. So this one has like a pink and green hue, this one has a silver hue, this has an indigo hue, kind of like a multicolored hue. This one has more of like a reddish orange and a pink hue. So personally, if I was using these, I would probably pair the different mylars with like colors that go with it. So I would probably use this one or even this indigo one for ocean nails. These iridescent flakes. So flakes differ from mylar. This is gonna be a staple. Like I don't think this is gonna leave my desk. I think I'm just gonna always have it here. I love working with flakes because you can just dab them into the dispersion layer of your gel polish. You can do a lot of layering with them. They lay nice and flat on the nail versus something like mylar that is gonna be a little bit thicker on the nail. And you can kind of chrome with flakes too, depending on the flake. Hollow embellishments, they call them, and they're like little round glitters. Like, they're weird. They kind of look like they're little beads, but I feel like they're thin like glitters. Interesting, they just kind of look like little buttons almost, but they are thicker than a typical glitter, but like thinner than say like a crystal or anything like that. So those are kind of interesting. So these look like acrylic gems. They have a variety of different colors here, and I like this green one. That lime green is kind of cool. Okay, a brush set here. This is a marble brush set. 3-piece striper brush with a marble handle. These remind me of the pink ones that I had at Flora. So if you missed out on those, these might be a good option for you. And I like these because they have a super, super fine tip on them. The brush handle is also Like it's got a good weight to it. It's not like super heavy, but not super light. And I like the neutralness of this marble. I mean, I love pink, but also like that too. And then big variety of different decals there too. Black and white butterflies and skulls is this one. These are sticky decals, not water decals. Glow in the dark line decals, nice. That's one thing that I feel like I could use a little bit more of is glow in the dark options. But they are just line decals, sticky decals again, but glow in the dark. So good for all year round, but specifically Halloween is what I usually think of for glow in the dark. Okay, look at this little brush holder. Isn't that so cute? I always have a brush holder at my desk. Usually I have like these giant ones here, but this one is just like the perfect little cute size, especially for if you don't have too many brush options that you use all the time. Like working on the press-ons, I don't use brushes all the time, so this is a nice size for it. You can just push it up like that, hold your brush like that. I don't think I'd want to do that. That's a nice little size. Lula Beauty, like oil slick brushes here. So we have like an ombre one, like a nice pointed one. I would probably use this one for watercolor actually. I'm probably gonna try that for watercolor. A super, super thin like pointy brush head. And then this one here I would use as like a gel application brush. Or actually, I'd probably use this one here for marbling too. So this, I actually think I'm gonna make my swiping brush. So sometimes when I'm doing different nail art designs and I want like a clean line or something, I need like a brush to swipe that line. I'm probably gonna use this one for that. Just because I feel like it would make a good gel brush. I think the shape of it. Okay, let's do a couple demos here. This is a really good collection of nail art for me to talk about the builders from Coco & Claire, because a lot of these nail art things I would use in combination with a builder. So these builders are new releases from Coco & Claire. You can get them at Lula Beauty as well. If you're shopping at Lula Beauty and you use my specific link, it is an affiliate link, so it does help support the channel, keep me doing what I love. So I appreciate it if you choose to use that. I do have a discount code as well, and it'll give you a discount at Lula Beauty too. So they do carry Coco & Claire. This builder collection was recently released and has 6 different shades in it. And we're gonna go through them kind of quickly here. This one up, Morning Mist, because mostly this is gonna be a video for me to show you what I would do with these builders and why I love builders. So these are a little bit more pigmented than the typical builders we see from Coco & Claire. Usually the Coco & Claire builders are a little bit more see-through, but these ones have a little bit more pigment to them, so that's interesting. Mischievous Moss. It's this nice green one, but you can kind of see like it is like a see-through color. But Secret Kiss. This is like an orangey red. There is another red in this collection too. Innocence, $4.95. So it's like a vanilla bean color, but again, we have that kind of see-through look with it. And then we have $4.94, Lava Red. This is like your fire engine red. And it has more blue tones versus the Secret Kiss color that has more orange tones. And then the last one in this collection that released is $4.96, and this one is called Moody Blue. It's a little bit of like a darker blue. So you know what, I'm gonna do all of these on short nails, because if you were doing your own nails, likely you would have shorter nails, I guess. So I'm gonna show you a couple tutorials using some of these products from Lula Beauty and these builders. So the difference between builders and say just their typical gel polishes is that builders have more strength to them because they have like a builder gel in them essentially. The builder gel though for Coco & Claire is like a soak off product. Like you can soak it off, you don't have to file it off. They're more thicker, they're not as runny as say a gel polish, so they when you're applying them, it's almost a little bit trickier to paint them on. You would paint like a thin layer down to give you your slip layer. This is me pretending this is like a human person, and then you would essentially just get like a bigger bead and you create a little bit more structure in the middle of your nail. But because these are a little bit more pigmented, you really got to be careful with not making them too thick now that we have like a little bit more color in them. And then another thing that I like to suggest if you're doing this on yourself, your press-ons, whatever you're doing, is to tilt your hand upside down, because the builder will pool in the middle, which is where you're going to need a little bit more of that strength. So that's typically how you would apply them. But when I'm doing nail art, I'm going to be painting them on because I want those thin, like see-through milky layers with it. So this gray, for example, we're gonna marble with this one. Okay, so this type of gray, what I would do with this is I'm actually gonna show you a really fun technique with this. So you're gonna need a compressed air can. Compressed air can. I usually keep one of these in the nail studio for getting rid of dust, but also for nail art. And then I also love glass gels for this effect. So typically if I'm gonna do this specific look, I would use like a black gel glass. So I'm gonna grab tinted glass, and then I'm also gonna grab this one, which is grape glass. It's number 241. But what I like about this one is it's not super purple. Like it's kind of like a darker purple, I guess. And so you're just gonna drop like random drops in here. It doesn't overly matter where they're gonna go. And then I'm gonna drop just like right here. Now that's kind of a thicker layer, so I'm gonna wanna disperse that around. And then you're just gonna take your compressed air can and you're just gonna lightly blow. Like that. You don't want to do too much, because if you do too much, it's gonna like really kind of marble out there. But unless that's the look you want, I guess, right? Like if it's looking too, like you want more gray to it, you could obviously go back in and add the builder. But the builder works really nice for this because it is that see-through look. And then you can see the glass gels through it too. Like glass gels and builder gels work so good together, I find. If you could make like more of a splattered look if you just like took the ends and like just went like that with it too. Like there's just some really cool effects you can get with using a compressed air can. And if you like really spray it, you're gonna disperse it quite a bit too. So you just play around with it until you get the look that you're after for it. I saw this done on TikTok one time and I fell in love with it. I thought it was so cool. But they were just using normal gel polish colors, and I find the builder, because it's a little thicker, like you get some better veining in it. But when you're done, you've got the look that you're after. You're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna tilt it upside down. So if there's like any chunkiness in one area because it's a little too thick, it's gonna start to pool to the center again. And you could take a brush and smooth things out too if you wanted, but it gives like a really cool marbled effect. And then I would also probably use some of these flakes, which remember, these are staples. These are gonna be at my desk all the time. So if you look at them, you can kind of see that they have different hues to them. Like this one has more of a greeny hue, more of like an orangey hue, purple. Now there's two different ways you can use flakes. And I find, well, there's lots of different ways you can use flakes, but one, for applying them, my two favorite methods are the, where is it? Coco and Claire sugaring brush. I like this if you just want like a small amount of flakes on the nails, because it can kind of like concentrately put them where you want them. But let's say you wanted, that was probably not a word. Let's say you wanted them all over the nail. I like to use my glove for that because you can just kind of drop them in. Or if you want, you can kind of burnish them a little bit by dabbing them a little bit more, but it kind of just depends on what look you're going for. And I love using flakes in combination with marble or galaxy or anything like that, and glass gels. So that is what the nail looks like, just marbled with flakes. So like a smoky marble star set before, and that was what I would have done with the smoke. And then adding the flakes on top of it, I would have gone in and done like a galaxy look with it, like, you know, matte top coat, and added some stars. Another thing that I like about glass gels and flakes is layering like the flakes underneath glass gels, because then once you top coat them, those flakes just kind of pop through. So that would be another way you could add a little bit of layer and depth and dimension in combination with flakes. So using the dried flowers, I would probably take a color like this one, number 495, the Innocence, and I would do a thin layer down with this one. Now this one, when I'm applying it, it is like thicker than the other one, so you kind of have to be careful to not get this like weird bulge at the free edge of the nail. And this one definitely looks a little bit more milkier, like not as even of an application. It's okay, it's totally fine. So I would do a thin layer down of that, especially if you're using builders on your natural nails, you're gonna give yourself some good like strength to the nails too then. So we have our one layer down. So we're gonna do another layer here, but we're not gonna cure it. And you can do this with either the same color, or you could do it with Coco & Claire Strong, which is also a builder in the bottle, but it's like a clear version of it. Our florals, put them where we want them. There's two different ones here, so we'll do this one and this one. Our goal is to just get them on the nail right now, so you can always move them around after. Not after you cure them, but like after you get them on the nail. Okay, so let's move this one and this one. There. Okay, so you can see that some of the flowers are sticking up. That is kind of some of your biggest things with working with embellishments like this, is you want them to lay as flat as you possibly can. There's a couple of tricks to doing that. You can just kind of dab them down like I'm doing here. You can use like a clear jelly stamper and like a UV light together. This kind of combination, you just want to get some saran wrap down first. But I'm pretty happy with how those have kind of settled into the nail, so I am going to cure these. One of my staple products is Strong from Coco & Claire. So again, it's a builder in a bottle gel, but it's clear. So this is what I use to embed any of my loose glitters, embellishments like this one with the flower. And I just need to, I'm pretty sure I'm like just about out of this one, so I need to just get a bead going on my nail here. That's what you want. You want a bead, and we're gonna just plop that down right in the center of our embellishment and kind of move it around a little bit. If you've got any like little thingies that come out from the flower, just try and work them out. And then get some more gel and just make sure it's fully enclosed. This little bump thing right there, because of the flowers, we're gonna file that out, so that's not the end of the world if there's like a little bump right in the middle. Okay, so once you get your flower encased, then I'm just gonna go and I'm going to surround the rest of the nail. Once I have the gel everywhere that I want, I'm gonna tilt it upside down, make sure I have it covering the flower, and then I'm gonna cure it. I want to hold it for like a little while so that the gel has a chance to pool. If your room's a little bit colder, it's going to take the gel a little bit longer to move where you want it to go. Out of the light, you're going to remove your dispersion layer with just a lint-free wipe and some alcohol. It's usually what I use. And then you're going to file your nail. So right there you can see that little bump right in the center. That just needs to be smoothed out. And if there's any other lumps and bumps, just smooth them out. Again, you're going to remove any of that dust with some alcohol and a wipe. And you have a couple options here. I would probably do a glitter top coat on top of this. I would do is the Wild Indigo top coat. You have a couple options. I was just thinking, I'm like, I kind of like how it's surrounding and look like glitter, but I don't know if I want the glitter to be right on the flower. I'm just going to dab some of that top coat off. So I'll still have a little bit of it on. You'll still see the flower a little bit more. Okay, now cure that. Just go in with a top coat on top of that, just a clear one. Our little design there using some of the nail art here. Okay, another one of my favorite builders is Salt Glow. This is a pretty new one too. But I really just like the shade of pink of this one. I think it is so pretty. It's just, oh, it's kind of hard to see it showing like kind of white. But it's a really nice, like peachy, super light peachy pink. But when you apply it, it's just a really like off-white pink color. It's beautiful. I did a wedding set using this and it's just so pretty. Okay, so another thin coat down. I'm gonna go in with flakes, and I want ones that have like a pinky hue to it this time. So I think I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna use my glove because I want like quite a bit on here. Okay. And I like to just dab it down a little bit, but then I like to pop it back in and cure if there's any like dispersion layer that can cure it into it a little bit more. And then I want to use these petals because I think these petals are so fun. Okay, so for working with these, you're gonna take some of your strong. I'm not gonna use the Salt Glow one because when I mush these petals down, I want like the clear, I don't want a color to distort the petals, if that makes sense. I hope that does. I feel like I'm not saying that correctly. So we're just gonna do a super thin coat down, and all this is just to act as kind of like our glue to pull those petals down. And this is what I would do with using any sort of loose glitters and gel polish. And then you're gonna get a dotting tool, use a toothpick or something too. This is a Coco & Claire one as well. It's got a really big, a fairly large end on this side and like a medium end on this side. So I like it for different nail art, because what I'm gonna do is grab a little bit of sticky on my dotting tool. I'm just gonna arrange the petals on here into like a cute little flower. These fold down pretty nicely into that strong product. I'm going to do this pink one too. Get the petals where you want it and then cure. I actually think I can take some of these. Do the really small yellow ones. I think those will work. I'm gonna, everything is all disorganized with the move. So I'll use Ugly Duckling for now, but you can use Coco & Claire Gem Gel, anything that you like to use to adhere 3D stuff to your nail. I actually don't mind working with the Ugly Duckling Shtick It when it's like this consistency. Okay, now I'm gonna find the really, really tiny flowers in here and plop those in the center because I think that's gonna look so cute. And then I think I'm gonna cure that first. And then we'll do the little ball on top of that. Little gel in the center. And our little brilliant bead. There's small and big ones in here, so. Let's do Glitz. So Glitz has like a greenish hue to it. And we're gonna kind of surround those florals too. And there we have that fun floral look. So you could obviously do those little 3D flowers on their own, or you could do the little petal nails on their own too, but that just gives you an idea how to work with all those different mediums. Okay, the last one I want to show you is how to work with Fimo. So there's a couple different ways that you can work with your Fimo fruit slices, but I'm gonna take this Moss Builder. And I like the shade of this. I think it's such a pretty green. We're gonna do a thin coat, cure, and then I'm gonna go in with some lemons. Now these you can embed, so you would do it the same way that you would do, that you would do your gels. The same way that you would do glitters, but they are quite a bit, just use tweezers, Talia. But they can get pretty lumpy and bumpy. So I like using these almost as like 3D embellishments instead. I'll do some lines on here too. So I'm just gonna cure that, and then I would surround this with some crystals and stuff after as well. Actually, most of the tools that you see in the videos that I do are Coco & Claire, because they have this beautiful rose goldness to them. The crystal picking up tool is one of my favorites because this end is so small, so it's easy to kind of move things around as you need to. Okay, so there's a couple things I want to do with these. I do want to take some flakes. I'm gonna do like some greeny flakes, and this is an example of where I would use the brush with it because I don't want it all over. I just want it kind of like surrounding these embellishments. And just place some of your crystal gel, gem gel, whatever it is that you're using, down. Normally, Ugly Duckling Shtick It is not a paste like this. If it is like a paste like this, you can heat it up on a tile. You would put like a mug warmer. You would take a mug warmer and you would have a tile down on top of it, and then you'd put this on top and it would heat up and it would turn back into like its liquid format. But even as you put it on the nails, you can kind of like watch it melt. It's kind of weird. So it goes to like that liquid state on the nails. It's so strange. And then we're just gonna surround it with some gems here. And this will just dress those Fimo slices up a little bit more too. You can treat Fimo like a 3D embellishment, or you can embed it as well. And actually these gems you can embed too, because crystal you don't want to embed, but these ones you definitely could. I didn't put any gem gel there. Maybe I didn't. I kind of want some there though. And then you would top coat around this as well. Now I want the contrast between like the green and the flakes, so I'm going to use like a normal top coat. I'm not going to use a glittery top coat for this one. This will also help seal in those gems as well as the Fimo. And the nice thing about working with gems versus like crystals is if you get top coat on them, it's not going to dull the shine at all. There is our different designs using some of the different nail art from Lula Beauty. Hopefully give you guys some tips and tricks on working with some of these different mediums. They can be super, super fun to work with, and also a better idea of like how to use the builders. I love working with builders because I love that milky consistency. I just think it looks so good as backgrounds for different nail designs. You can do these in combination with stamping too, some of the different techniques that I shared with you. Like this one here, you could easily do some like stamping on top of this as well. And then those flakes and the different layers and such that we had created would poke through as well. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Definitely comment below and let me know if you have any other tutorial requests, anything else that you want to see. I would love to hear your guys' feedback as well. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh goodness, okay, that's a like hefty scoop. That person's getting a lot of water decals. Rose, pick out one item for this bag. Rose's special bonus bag item. You can have that one for yourself if you want. Do you want to do that one? This is like little bead pens.
Oh, yeah.
Bead pens? Okay. Alrighty. Okay, you want to sticker it or Mom?
Me.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I get this stuff. Yeah, hold that flap down. That should be good. And then our sticker on the front. Thank you. Okay, in Pearl's box. Maybe we'll start standing them up so they fit a bit better.